like very probable that I'm just going to become a crazy cat person.
I would too if I like could. So, but like building regulations and people, it's sad.
I, I
It
just don't like
sucks.
the idea of poop all over the floor of my house.
Exactly right. When you have like more than two cats, it's just crazy to try and
Like
raise.
one cat, you can
I
the
would only
litter
get one
box. You
cat.
change it like twice a week, and it's actually
Or
not that
you
bad. There's
just
just like
or
sand everywhere. Two
have
cats.
outside.
Yeah.
Well, outside cats, sure, but then they bring home diseases.
They're also horrible
Oh,
for the
mice.
environment.
What? Or mice.
They're terrible for the environment. Like they just kill all kinds of bird populations.
That's
They're horrible.
also incredibly true. Yes.
They're a terrible invasive species. Like they kill so many
So
animals.
is everything.
Speaking of
No,
terrible
cats are
invasive
awful.
species, every time I try to bring my
I'm not
daughter,
trying to defend that, but
every time I try to bring my daughter to a park, there's those damn gypsy flies. Sorry, gypsy moths that
I
are
thought you
around.
were going to say your daughter was the invasive species,
Listen,
which is technically correct.
gypsy moths are invasive,
Humans, am I right?
and they're everywhere. They ruin everything. It's all over the place, all over the slides, all over the parks, and then they ruin trees.
That's horrible sounding.
Do you guys not have gypsy moths in the UK?
Well, I assume I do, but they're just called something that's not offensive.
Yeah.
Well, they came from,
Yeah.
I believe they came from Asia. They came here like I think in like the 80s is when they finally made their way here on some ship or shipment. or
Apparently,
whatever.
it's a boat that Sir Francis Chichester commissioned to sail around the world. So I don't know what's going on right now.
There you go.
It's definitely not what we call a bird. I was gonna say a bird.
A bird? A gypsy moth is a moth.
Yeah, I figured that out. But apparently, my brain called moths birds.
Oh, okay, that's funny. So,
I mean, they look kind of cute on
but
the.
so what they do is they go to trees and they make their their little nests inside trees. It strangles up branches at a time and it kills the tree. So if you go to like say Slater Park, which is in Pawtucket, northern Rhode Island, and it's a park that's full of a ton of trees. Like you can literally go there in the summertime and you'll have like swaths of trees completely covered in webbing. It looks like a scene from Lord of the Rings or something, completely covered in webbing. And you're like, wow, these trees are all going to be dead within 3 years. And like the only way to try to like reduce it is to like use these chemicals that are bad for the animals. So it's like, do we allow the trees to die or do we allow the animals to die? Either way, we need to get rid of these moths. It's awful. Awful. Anyways, lesson for Mass Effect. Don't allow indigenous species. Sorry, don't allow invasive species to destroy your indigenous populace. Don't do it. That's why you guys keep having the air filtrations every time you dock somewhere. So you make your way.
But accidental biowarfare is the best warfare.
When you guys hop into the whatchamacallit, hop into the jump, the mass relay jump, and start traveling. And once the ship's kind of like taking care of itself, he'll actually get up and turn and you know kind of address the rest of you guys and just be like, "I'm sorry that you had to see that. This is something that's been a concern for about 10 years now."
Completely understandable.
You do realize that we're going to be going into a facility that is specifically for, and I mean specifically for, very, very, very few Solarians. Very few Solarians are welcome to go here. So the facility that we're going to be going to is only going to have a couple of people on it, if any at all, at the time that we show up. I'm not entirely sure what we're looking for. I'm not entirely sure what it is that we're doing. I am not exactly somebody that follows this stuff. My mother does and my husband does, but it's not something that I have ever really cared about. But all of you are going to be, well, at a front to the landing there. So expect, well, I don't even know what to expect.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So you guys continue making your way, hyperspace, all that stuff. He's actually, again, a really, really good pilot, so I'm not even going to roll any dice. No chance of anything bad happening. As you eventually get back to the strenuous system, which is where you were before, a couple days later. Anything you guys do during those couple days are long done? Oh, good to go.
Good to go. I don't have anything in particular I want to do.
Okay. So you guys get to the strenuous system and you start making your way over to the planet of Traylin once again. This planet is in the shape of, so this is again nearby where it was that you had that mission beforehand. This says the planet with the southern hemisphere actually looks like their goddess. So that being said, you are not landing in the southern hemisphere. You'd be landing in the northern hemisphere. To land on the goddess's face would be horrible. Like, don't mind us. We're just a pimple on your cheek. You know what I mean? Like,
Hi, we're here to deface your religion. Thank you very much.
Literally.
So,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're fine. Let's just drop bombs from the sky. So you'd be landing on the northern hemisphere of the planet where it would be a little bit safe. So it's funny, as you guys are approaching the planet, you do in fact, again, see the satellites that are around it that we had talked about beforehand. And as you're going to the coordinates of where it is you're supposed to be, you can once again ping up a ton of satellites that hold orbit around these particular locations for constant scanning and what's not. Roll for me a scanning check there, please, Oliver. You can also pick up that there are 2 STG spacecraft in the area as well. As we had discussed ages ago, Solarian's approach to combat is to be long range, to be kind of like take care of the problem offensively long before it even gets within range. So you know that these vessels, they're hanging back from the planet by a considerable amount, knowing that wherever they're positioned, they're going to be able to take out most targets pretty easily. So you are able to pick those up, but of course you do have the codes that we had discussed, and so ding, 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 ding.
And we're a Solarian ship.
And you're
Now,
a Solarian
Scott,
ship.
I have to do something that I was meant to do during the break.
Uh-oh.
Look at my character sheet.
Oh.
And look at the last talent I just added and tell me whether that can or can't exist
Eyeless.
without spoiling it.
I like it already.
Hold on. It's longer than the text box. So
Yes, they all are.
yeah. Paste. Okay. Commit processing.
Shabba! How dare you tell them that I have to commit processing? It's not like it's the first 2 words of every talent I have.
I love it when Scott like actively tries to trigger Ollie.
It's not very hard. And I don't like it.
I actually.
Stum, mister. That doesn't make you more quiet. That means he can't hear us. He can say anything we want about him right now. Look how red his
That's
ears
the
are.
point.
He's got some red ears.
Sorry, ADHD. I can't be distracted.
You know what? That's fine. I was making fun of you, but that's a good reason.
Yeah.
I can't both listen and read at the same time. It's not possible.
I can.
I can certain
Kinda.
things, but not. Anyways.
I listen and write pretty well.
That's why if like I'm reading in public, I'll usually listen to like death metal or something like that because it's white noise, so I can actually read. So anyways, so you
Usually the album covers are black.
what level is that? Because there's different levels of.
4.
Can you?
I just leveled up to 4.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Kinda regret
I
saying
pray we never have to use it.
Oh god.
that. I'm sure it's gonna be used first opportunity possible. You start plugging in your codes, and you start plugging in. Okay. You start plugging in your codes. Ding, 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 to get authorization. Despite the fact that you plug in your codes, you do, of course, see your ship getting scanned. Because of the fact that your ship is getting scanned, one of the things that they're easily able to get is like the make of your ship and so on, like all the details about it. But almost immediately you can discover that what they're also trying to do is scanning life forms on the vessel as you're approaching for landing.
Can I fake that?
You can use decryption to more or less either hide or give false information.
I want to give false information that there's the same amount of people, but they're all Solarian.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to use a party pool of luck for that.
Sure. So there's only one left.
And do I even want to commit more processing? No, because we're probably doing all this siege in one day, so I'll save it. I do get an extra +1.
Ooh, that's a really good one. You actually are successful in your endeavor there. So you convince the. So you are able to alter the thing. So as they're scanning the ship, you more or less just kind of tell everybody more or less try to stay kind of still, and
Take care not to breathe.
Don't breathe.
and you were able to change it. So they do hail to you anyways, and one of them says, so they do hail, in which case, of course, the pilot has to open comms and does so, and you hear, this is, Lieutenant Sakala from, I just totally just made that up in the spot.
If you don't acknowledge it, you don't ruin all immersion.
That's okay.
You just breeze
It's
past.
ruined now.
It's fine.
I
but
laughed,
if you go,
though. But I laughed. This
then
is
you
Lieutenant
ruin
Sakala.
it, Scott. You ruin it.
All right, I'm going to delete that from the VOD, too.
It just like cuts a second, and I'm very.
At this
grumpy.
rate, there's not going to be any VOD left.
This is Lieutenant Sakala. I noticed that your atmosphere configuration is set for that of. Well, I'm not entirely sure what it's set for. Is there something wrong with it?
It's a very old ship.
I'm the comms officer.
I'm just like, giving a suggestion.
We just came from the Citadel.
The ship is atmospherically comprised due to our cargo currently. It needs to be kept in a very particular condition.
A couple moments of silence, and then they say, "Understand, proceed." And you guys continue flying down to the planet and over towards the facility. So, landing on this planet is not easy. It's actually a very, very, very rough thing to try to do. The dodging, the weaving, the turning, the getting through the very hard, very jagged surface of this world is not good. Honestly, it's the surface, even the small jags in the surface floor, make it uncomfortable for people to even walk on, let alone a vehicle much larger than that of, say, an Earth motorcycle, or maybe like a small hover car or something like that to get through. The fact that you're bringing in a ship, even a smaller one, makes it extremely difficult. So it does put your pilots, it does tax him. I have to make a roll for him for his piloting. So here we go. Oop, sorry, missed one. It's the lowest he's rolled so far. That is the lowest he's rolled so far. So the pilot is dropping down and trying to make the way through. Unfortunately, in trying to fly through this area, it is a very, very difficult thing, even for the quality of pilot that you have. And so he even ends up scraping the side of a huge jut of rock. I mean, the way that this planet is designed is these huge juts of rock will stretch up as high as Mount Everest, while being like 1/15th or 1/20th the thickness of the terrain that comes up to it. And they end up coming up to like these tiny, tiny sheer points that if something were like to drop from space, it could easily be skewered. So he's on the side, ends up scraping along the side of one of these rocks, which actually causes the rock area to break because of its thinness, and a huge mountain of rock just comes crumbling down below and smashing into the planet below. As for the gravity,
I think we just desecrated a holy site.
You're in the northern hemisphere. As for the gravity of this world, luckily it's 1G, so that fall is slow, but despite being a slow fall, it's still something very heavy, and it still eventually gains to its maximum velocity, whatever that is on this world, and still does damage because of the weight of these things, the size of these things. So scrapes along another side, but further down where it hurts the ship a little bit, but doesn't actually hurt any of the planet structure. Eventually has to pull out and pull back away to reinitiate the landing sequence from on high. It is a difficult process. So you guys say anything or do anything, or just kind of let him go about his business?
He knows his piloting better than I do. I'm not going to distract him.
Okay. All right, so if you guys are going to do anything, he goes all the way back up, kind of to the higher reaches of the atmosphere, and then we'll reinitiate the landing sequence, trying to land again. You can tell he was clearly frustrated with that, but at the same time, kind of hopeful that things didn't go worse. And so he's going to start reinitiating the piloting sequence again. Rolling better, piloting better. He's able to once again reapproach the landing sequence, trying to get down to where this small little hangar is, and eventually is able to get to the bottom. There are still scrapes on the side of the ship. There's still another area where a rock on its own, just because like a gust of wind that happens to come by, ended up breaking these slowly eroding rocks and causing like a fall of stuff that he has like zip underneath and dart through to try to not have it smash your ship on the way down. Luckily, because of the low G, it was something he could kind of like drop down underneath and pull out of, because not falling that fast. But eventually is able to pull the ship to the landing of where this hangar is. Now, the hangar is actually on the surface of the world itself. And as you land, what you can see before you is the huge doors that lead into this facility, this building in front of you, have on either side of it these large female Solarian handmaidens to the goddess herself. The names of these people, honestly, you don't know. You can look it up in the extranet, but it's not important. This is part of their faith. These are the two of the greatest handmaidens that serve their goddess, that do their goddess's bidding. And they're on either side of the structure. And when I say huge, I mean, like, we're talking stretches up about 1.5 miles into the sky huge. So very, very, very large handmaidens that are standing there before you. You can also tell that the handmaiden on the left is the color of it is a little bit lighter than the handmaiden on the right. A quick just like analysis of this, Ollie, if you cared to, it doesn't really matter. You can tell that the handmaiden on the left, the lighter colored one, is comprised of rock that's natural to this world, whereas the handmaiden on the right is rock that was brought to this world. And you can actually tell that this is rock, it's much darker in color, that was brought from Sirkesh. And you guys are able to, of course, get your suits ready, and go on to the planet. Now, something to note. The surface temperature of this planet is negative 147 degrees Celsius. This is a danger level 3 planet. A planet that you can survive for very short periods of time out of your ship and on the actual surface in your suits before it becomes a concern. Again, Quarian suits, don't mind me, I'm adjusting myself in my chair. Quarian suits kind of like more or less treat things as the 1 degree lower, but she doesn't intend to come in. And the ship itself can't even be fully powered down, can't really be put in sleep or power off mode. It needs to stay on to make sure that it's constantly heating itself up, right? But who really cares? Not like you guys are being ecologically focused, right? No, not
Yeah, it's a spaceship, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's nuclear powered, it's fine.
Yeah. So, you always space farted as you approach the planet anyways. It's like, hey, goddess.
Yeah.
I'm glad you chose to add and describe that part of our adventure.
You're welcome. It's everybody's favorite part of Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, the door opens up. Do you guys do anything else before you leave the ship, or are you just heading in?
I go over the data to make sure that we know what we're looking for on this planet.
You're literally looking for missing bits of data that you need. So you're going to be going in and searching. For
More or less ancient texts in this ancient facility.
Yes.
All right.
Are the missing links that we need.
We're tomb raiding then. Got
We're
it.
literally tomb raiding because, as always, the ancient people always knew more. But then why'd they go ahead and
pistol that I
die?
had hidden somewhere so I can dual wield pistols.
Did you guys see that new movie? I'll tangent with you. Did you guys see that?
No,
new
but
movie?
I did see how the trailer gave her a really long neck. The poster
Oh, I don't know about
gave
that.
her a really long neck.
My wife was excited to watch it with me. She really wanted to watch it, so I watched the movie with her. It was bad. Like, even the parts...
Watching video game movies.
It's a shame because it seems like that would be a story that could make a pretty good movie.
Right, it'd be easy. It'd be super easy. And then, like, the parts that you're like, well, these are the gimme parts. These are the easy parts, right? Like, this is like, you're clearly going to succeed. Even those parts are just really bad. And then there are a couple of moments like, that was a good moment. Like, that was a brilliant moment. But
Yeah, I heard that the movie has good parts, but is overall like kind of just like eh.
Ollie, I promise you, they're moments, not even parts. It's unfortunately, but that's okay. Like, you totally watch it if you're like looking for something to like inspire you.
If it's
and DMing
on,
something different. But
Well, exactly. That's why I like those sort of movies for.
you can get some
usually
inspirations. But
Rip them off. I mean, get inspiration.
yeah, that's of course. So, anyways, well, you guys, you get yourselves prepared. You open up your airlock to go out there. As soon as the airlock opens up, immediately, all of your suits and all of your alarms go into red alert. Like immediately, you actually within the suit itself, you get a shiver down your spine. The two of you.
I'll also bring the drone.
The drone, if you try to have it powered on,
No, I'll just be
seizes up.
carrying it.
Yeah. I was gonna say immediately it seizes up. Almost immediately, the air in the actual airlock area that you are, it literally crystallizes into ice. It snows. All the moisture that was in here literally crystallizes and snows or semi-hails down to the ground beneath you. Though it goes down slowly because, of course, 1G. So it is so cold out here. Those first couple steps as the door finishes opening up are actually a little difficult as the suit kind of has to prepare itself for this cold environment and breaking off all the ice that immediately formed up. And even after that, it's a bit stiff. The walk from your ship itself to the door is not a very long walk, but oh my god, does it feel like forever. It's like the middle of the winter time during a snowstorm. You cross the street with no shoes on and no jacket on, like a t-shirt and shorts, to go get your mail from the mailbox or something. Like
Go eat your mail?
To get retrieve. You're like that cold.
Don't
just
eat
walking
mail.
over there. So you guys do get to the doorway, and as soon as you get to the doorway, this is older technology. The doorway actually you can see a sensor open up and run like a scanner amongst yourselves to see like who it is that's coming into the facility. So it does like a scanner up and down your bodies 3 times, and after it does so, the facility doors open.
Oh wow.
These are old stone doors opening up. When you guys take those first couple steps into the facility, it's just the 3 of you with the drone in your hand. The door then closes behind you. All around, you can see that the entire room that's in front of you is immediately set up, rowing on either side of you. There's rows of different handmaidens that served the goddess. In their life, these are statues that were put up in their honor after their deaths. That are running along the area. We do see on the far end of the room is there is a large holo display terminal, and on that holo display terminal, it's actually an image of each one of the 3 of you in that typical like open body position, your legs slightly widened apart, your arms slightly widened apart, doing a rotation, and it's showing like
it's called a T. Or it's usually called a T pose.
Is that what it's called, a T pose? Because it's not like this; it's like down.
Even when it's not an actual T, it's called a T pose.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
in T pose, doing the rotation on the terminals over ahead of you, and you guys are wearing your suits, but you can actually see, like, even though you're wearing your suits, the suits that you're wearing are semi-translucent, and it's actually your nude bodies are what's standing as the most, like, there's no opacity to it whatsoever. You can actually fully see your nude bodies, like, right there with everything else almost translucent over it. And for you, Icolas, that actually, for you, it actually shows a data core that exists inside of your frame, and that data core is like digitally kind of removed, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming off of it, and it's showing
Exploded
like lines
off.
of code. Yeah, exactly. Showing lines of code that compromise what you are.
We should probably destroy that.
Why is that?
he just stares at Carmine and starts walking towards the thing. You said it was on one of the walls?
It was on the far wall from where you are.
I just start heading off that way. And I imagine I'm flashlights during this job as well.
The place is strangely lit. It is lit. Get lit, fam. It is lit up despite the fact that you don't see. It's lit up despite the fact that you don't see any lights in the nearby area. It probably has something to do with the architecture. They probably have lights kind of tucked away in a way that doesn't resonate outwards. But it is lit well enough that you can all see fine enough. You know what I mean? Solarians can see better in darker areas than other races. They have big ol' eyes. But it's lit well enough that you're fine. Flashlights if you want bright light.
Mm-hmm.
You start heading towards that direction. And as you get closer to it, you actually see somebody starts walking from a side entrance, because as you get to the end, you notice that there's like a T off of this area where there's a hallway going to the left and to the right. Coming in from the left-hand side, you see a cloaked, robed, head-covered figure slowly walking out to meet you guys in the corridor, and is walking out to stand in front of that terminal itself. I don't know if you guys slow down or keep walking towards them.
I still have my helmet on, but in my helmet, I just go and the voice comes, huh? They're gonna go ask us for the secret handshake. And only Solarians know, and, well, we're not Solarians. I did bring all my weapons, by the way.
Of course.
So this is gonna be fun.
Zoe goes and stands in front of the terminal and then turns to face you. Once again, face still completely covered. Do you guys approach this cloaked figure?
I walk past them.
You walk past them? Okay.
I'm a robot.
So you walk past the cloaked figure. Do the other two stands in front of them?
I mean, yes, we need them to examine our ship, correct? That's why we're here. To examine the data.
Oh, do you already?
In theory.
You already did that? Okay.
You already did that in Sirkesh. Yeah.
Okay.
We're looking for more data here.
Yep.
More data here.
So as you walk past them, going to the terminal, the other two approach. When you approach, the person in front of you says the typical Solarian greeting, and of course, Solarian. Constantinia, your Solarian is fully workable, even if not very good. It's fully workable. Like 4 years of Spanish in high school.
Yeah.
You could say the words, just they're very badly accented and slow.
And at the very least, I can understand them when they're being spoken to me.
Exactly. And you, Carmine, your Solarian is, you can understand some of what they're saying in Solarian, and you know key phrases, but not like fully workable. Luckily for you, you got a translator in your helm that can kind of like translate with a 1.5 second delay everything that's being said towards you if you activate it. I imagine you do.
Yeah.
So it says to you the typical Solarian greeting, to which you guys respond.
Typical Solarian greeting.
I'll give them a Torian greeting.
Okay. And that is the amount of time because of how close behind that person the console is. Icarus can approach the console.
I'm going to start hacking it so that it doesn't display... It displays false information in my section.
Sure. So you walk past them and start hacking into the terminal. The person says to you in Solarian... sorry. I guess something in my throat is bothering me. Says to you in Solarian, why is it that you've arrived, Off-Worlders?
We are scientists operating on behalf of Solarians to gather information.
What is the information you're looking to gather? They speak very slowly for a Solarian.
I'll turn to Carmine, like waiting for him to speak.
There is this particle that I did like briefly describe it. 'Cause, Solarian, like, it's literally part of their religion. This person knows it. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
We have found indications that it exists, and we hope to uncover its final secrets in here.
You're here to fulfill the prophecy.
Apparently.
Off-Worlders, carried in the womb of the goddess, are supposed to come here and fulfill the prophecy, the final discovery of what it is that you speak.
Yes.
So he's looking around for a moment, and then turns around and faces towards Icarus, who's been hacking into this device the whole time.
To be fair, he doesn't look out of place.
Could you tell us more about this prophecy? Like trying to get their attention back on us?
Yeah, we're not really familiar with prophecies in Solarian.
Were Off-Worlders foretold, or did you believe it would be a Solarian to accomplish this task?
Turning back towards you guys, because nothing's happened yet. Turning back towards you guys, says, the prophecy, there are many prophecies that have been said, that have been laid out by the goddess and her handmaidens. Of course there are. But this particular one refers to the Off-Worlders that are going to be carried to the home of the goddess within her womb.
Why is it, if this is your prophecy of your people, that off-worlders aren't typically allowed here?
Because then any off-worlders would climb into anything that they could pass as the womb and arrive trying to fulfill the prophecy. Or, even if the prophecy is not known to off-worlders, anyone that shows up in such a way would be foreseen as being prophetic, even if they're not meeting the description.
Do you think
that does make a good amount of sense?
And I will gesture towards the ship.
I didn't hear what you said, Aaron. Sorry.
Does this fit your description, would you think?
When you gesture towards the ship, it obviously, when you guys actually turn back and look at the door that's closed behind you, you can actually see there's a holo display of the actual landing pad area over there, and your ship is on the landing pad area, and it says, yes, absolutely it does. That is a very specific device that was created long ago. To some, it was model number and rattles off the model number and everything on the ship. But to others, it was known as the goddess's womb, where life would grow, where prophecies would be filled. There aren't many of those left in the galaxy, I imagine, if any beyond your own at all. Ollie, another decryption check, please. So
I like how we're having this relaxed conversation about fulfilling a destiny, and he's just over there trying to hack so that we don't figure out his things.
So you finish hacking the thing. It's very, very difficult, honestly. It was actually a DC 14. You finished hacking the thing and are able to scramble it, so the information about you changes. And so when the information about you changes, all of a sudden, the person before in front of you stops, all of a sudden starts to be broken.
What did you do?
I walk over to them. Well, it appears that they're not real. I'm gonna very manhandle this person, basically grab their chest and head and so almost break them backwards to look at them.
Your hands pass through it. It was a very, very high quality hologram. Usually other ones are just for basic use. You don't need high quality ones because you're on a mobile ship. This is a very high quality hologram in front of you.
This one's for prophecies only.
I
go over to the terminal and try and turn it off. Could you reverse what you just did, please?
Nope.
We need that.
No, that was permanent. Sorry.
It isn't. You go over to the terminal.
I give you a stare.
Attempt to turn it off. It's actually not hard because you've already broken through the firewalls, which were not easy to break through. And once you turn it off, all of a sudden the entire facility gets dark. And almost immediately you can start feeling the temperature in the facility start to decrease.
Icarus.
Do a terminal. I turn it back on.
Thank you.
As soon as you start trying to turn it back on, tick, 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 tick. Ooh, that was funny. My computer went all wonky.
Maybe because you typed onto the keyboard for Foley effects.
Yeah, sorry. Other keyboard. There you go. That worked better. So, here, I'll do it like this. Ha! Now you can hear it. So
it didn't need that much time and effort put in.
You're welcome. So you start typing and trying to power the thing back on, and it starts going through its power-up cycle. This is going to take 3 hours.
We're going to die.
Well, we might as well explore the facility while we can.
That is going to be a few minutes before we freeze.
You know you can last a couple of hours in your suit outside. About an hour in your suit outside. In here, it's going to take a while for the temperature to drop, so you probably get a bit of time.
We're here to find information. The information in a place like this.
Yes, and it seems like you just shut down a good source of it.
That is not the information we are here for. We're not here for any information that would have been stored on a holographic greeter.
Information regarding to specifically why us and prophecies to be fulfilled, and what that prophecy is could have been very helpful.
He just starts to walking down one of the directions of the T-junction.
Left or right, sir?
I'm thinking right.
Sure.
I'm going right.
Absolutely. So Icarus starts walking. What did Constantinia and Carmine do? Hang back
I give Constantinia a stare for a minute, just like disgruntled frustration.
Oh, Aaron, you're muted.
Constantinia's in a void.
Sorry, I was coughing.
The atmosphere lost. It's so hard to speak.
She has to turn her comms back on.
Shut up. I will nod to it, not quite like reciprocating it, but understanding it, and walk forward.
I reluctantly follow.
So you guys start following and making your way to the right side of the facility. First area that you come across is going to be another large. So as you guys are walking down this way, it ends in. It's a bit of a walk. It's a huge open area. Again, it's beautiful. It's ornate. There's etchings on the walls. There's lots of like gorgeous artwork here. Once again, to the goddess and to a lot of the details about their faith. Most of it falls on deaf eyes for you guys because you don't know at all.
Deaf eyes?
That's right. Deaf eyes because you're not listening. You're seeing. You don't know at all what it means. But the hallway ends with a large stone door that's shut.
I tried to open it.
So you go over to the stone door, and unfortunately you can't just like wave your hand or press any buttons to open it. You're going to have to physically try to open it. Which
because someone shut it down.
There's also no mag locks or anything like that. So
such a shame I'm not in my siege mode.
Yeah.
I will... Yeah, I'll try to open it, I guess.
Okay.
With no skill in any way to do it. What is that, a strength exert check?
Correct. Others can assist.
Do we have connection to the extranet here?
You would be able to access the extranet pinging off of the satellites that are overhead, but that just draws more attention to what it is that you're doing. So
I sort of like limply try to open the door for a few moments.
And like you said, limply, unfortunately, it does not open.
Well then, I could do some things to try and make this work.
What would that be?
Well, ultimately, all these doors do work on some sort of mechanism, and I more or less just need to work out how that mechanism works and give it a sort of power jolt using the quantum entanglement. Maybe we can get through the stone, and I just start building something in like the quantum forge in my chest.
I'm going to examine the door and the rooms for any alternative ways we could get in.
Sure. So this one door is on the end of this right side hallway, large stone door, is the only way to get out to this direction. While he's spending time doing that, you could easily walk the other direction and kind of check out things over in that way. Of course, once again, you have your lights and your headset, so your actual helmet turned on so you can see. Go in the other direction. It also has a large stone door, but between like that middle area of the T and the actual left side door, you can also see where the device was that controlled the actual holo display. You actually walk past it, you're like, I see where like the projection for it and everything was, and You can actually see like where all that was set up. That's why it walks from the left originally. But at the far end over there's another huge stone door. And unfortunately, you don't know which way goes which.
And is it just like flat stone? I'm looking for like specifically like vents, like holes where wires would come through, etc.
It is flat stone. The mechanisms that would actually move this very large stone would exist within the actual frame of the wall, ceiling, and floor. So, yeah, but it's
would it be possible to scan the walls and try to like make sense of the inscriptions that way?
Oh, so you kind of just like and just like try to get the messages and everything that are going there. Absolutely, you can. While Icarus is once again.
I mean, I've already done it. It takes a main action.
Okay, so
you guys would have been wandering around for ages.
Gotcha.
I can wait.
No. So let's let Rick do his thing. So you want to start trying to do that kind of discovery. Do me a favor. You can actually make me a perception intelligence check with that, Rick. I'll give you a +1 with your Omni tool. I didn't say it till too late. So
that's a 6.
Yep.
Ugh.
So that's actually enough. A 6 is the minimum for getting any level of success. So you start scanning the walls. You are able to scan a considerable amount of them, and more or less you're storing data on your thing, so you can kind of like more or less setting up a 3D model within your Omni tool. So you can actually see like, okay, there's a wall here with all these inscriptions, but you don't like know the significance of them. You haven't had time to kind of like scan for that. Icarus easily, of course, while they're doing the things that they're doing, you crafted what it is that you wanted. What did you craft, and what are you going to do with it?
I craft a MacGuffin that opens the door. I can make a portable TL4 one encumbrance thing that is rigged with energy, and it works for the scene. So it seems perfectly reasonable to make a door opening thing that can sort of quantum entangle through the stone.
Absolutely, I get what you're
sort
trying
of
to say.
Plug it.
You're doing more or less like the whole through the walls, use the energy transference, Tesla style, to open the doors. Roll for me a decryption check, please. Electronics, actually.
Can it be decryption, though?
It's electronics.
Because the building of the thing is automatic.
Yeah, but it's electronics because what you're doing is you're wiring, more or less.
But I'm not.
Decryption has to do with programs. This isn't a program. This is.
Oh, okay. So you're trying for me to like use the thing to wire on the other end.
Correct.
Got it.
Wirelessly, of course, but yes.
Yeah.
So your first.
This is where the time comes in.
Yes. So your first attempt at doing so, unfortunately, isn't. The problem is that you don't have any specialized tools for doing this sort of a thing. If you were to just like cut into the wall and get to those wires, no problem. But you're trying not to do that. So your first attempt to do so does not work. Do you attempt to do so again?
Of course, this thing lasts for the scene, so I'm just going to keep trying via force of attrition for as long as I need to work. 'Cause I don't need to worry about oxygen. So I don't mind waiting.
But it doesn't matter because very shortly thereafter, so your first attempts to do so fall hard flat. Constantina is on her way walking backwards. Carmine finished scanning the walls to just get like a setup, even if there's nothing that he can really do with it. And then all of a sudden you do that transference of electricity. As soon as it starts powering up, it's very easy for you to channel the energies along the programming. That would be the decryption. Very easy for you to just... and the door opens up for you. And it opens up completely. What's nice is that when it opens up completely, because of the stored heat and everything that were already on the inside, it actually blasts you guys with a little bit of heat, dropping the temperature there a little bit, but warming up this front room a little bit. And you're able to walk through into the next area that's
Open
inside there.
sesame.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you walk into this next area, you can see that there are, once again, very, very nifty-looking inscriptions and whatnot and paintings and everything that are along these walls, too. This is a pretty basic corridor that you're walking down. There's no doors off of this side. There's no doors off the other side or anything like that. You're just walking down a straight hallway. Guys, do anything along the way, or just going to continue going with narration?
I keep scanning all the things.
Sure. Could you do me a favor, please, Rick? First, make the same check you did before. Okay, so you
One of these days.
You're successfully able to scan the stuff and get it onto your tool. However, because you were doing that, Rick, could you make me a perception wisdom with a +2, and the other two a perception wisdom with a -2?
Wow.
That's funny, Rick. Very consistent.
Uh,
Yeah. Did Erin roll? No, she didn't.
I'm sorry. What did you want me to roll?
Perception wisdom -2.
Sorry about that. I thought you were just talking to Rick.
You're fine. So, and with
We
yours,
don't see what comes to kill us.
so it's actually Rick. You're doing these scans of the walls and everything, and you're getting the surface scans and whatnot. But then you notice, like, while you're trying to compile this as you're walking down the hallway, you notice something a little strange as you're looking at like the inscriptions on it, whatever. You know, your Omni tool turns, like your arm turns slightly as you're like looking over that area. When you look back, you notice that the scans that you were doing are like a 2D model like it's 3D technically, but you're just looking at it more or less a 2D display because it's 2D images that are on this model. But when you turn your arm, you notice that there's actually like a bit of a gap coming out the back side, and you're like, wait a second, and then kind of like zooming in with your audio tool for a second, you realize that this room has holes, several holes in the walls that lead to like almost like little chambers or something, but not large, not like something you can go walking in, like low to the ground, sorry, like low small chambers that go not that far deep in, maybe 3 meters in. Something you didn't notice with your eyes, and even looking at your display really quickly, like you can't see it because the artwork in the room disguises these very, very well with how the painting on the inside of the hole is compared to the outside. It's an illusion, so you can't see through it. But there are a whole bunch of like pockmarked holes inside here. And kind of like as you're coming to this discovery, you notice, sorry, you thought you heard something, and this is everybody. Sorry, no, not everybody. Actually, Icolas and Constantinia don't. You, Carmine, like maybe because you're oversensitively aware of this whole thing, you think you heard something inside this facility. As you were walking before, the only sound was your boot steps. But you thought you heard a scratching noise somewhere behind you.
Great. I get on comms. Stay alert, there might be guardians, and I take out my rifle.
Okay.
And I will share my data with everyone else.
Oh, as you mentioned the holes, I power up my drone and I drop him.
Well, he doesn't mention the holes. He said, "Oh, well, because he shared the
He
data."
literally just said he mentioned.
Data.
I share that. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you, Rick. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
I'll try and like. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, given that I just figured out that there's holes and I might have heard something, yes, I do turn on my adrenaline
Holes
pump.
are terrifying.
Okay. So you turn on the drone, you start getting activated. It actually takes the drone a couple of seconds. Like it takes a couple extra moments for it to come online just because of how cold the thing was coming through. It hasn't warmed up completely since it came in here. But it does come online right now. It's a good thing you noticed that, Rick, because you guys are going to be rolling an initiative check for me as... Hold on, don't roll it yet. You're going to be rolling an initiative check for me as you come to realize there are things coming out of these holes in the walls. As a matter of fact, there are 7 things coming out of the holes in the walls. There are droids, clearly Solarian-crafted droids that are designed to be guardians of this region. The
Droids, blast them!
They're coming out of bloody walls.
As they
like simulations.
As they pop out of the walls, you can see that immediately as they pop out of the walls, they start trying to power up their shields, their actual kinetic barriers themselves. Though none of them have them online yet. Roll your initiatives now.
Or Sereno. We're not in the place where we can do the boopings.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have you on the?
We're on the wrong map. If you want us to
You're
actually
on the
use
wrong map.
Bing.
I think I'm on this one. That's okay.
Can you just take us to the ship map?
Yeah, you are.
Or is that...
The ship map is the one where...
Oh, if you want the ship, it's funny because the ship map is where I was. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think you are.
It's
on
not
there.
where we was.
That's funny.
Scott, I click on this token.
There you go. You should be able to click there now.
Yeah, it's...
I can click on the other non-Taurian one.
We're on the wrong page, Scott.
No, I just dropped you, didn't I?
We're not.
Oh,
no.
I moved myself but didn't drop you. Sorry. Now,
Can you believe this guy has a tutorial series on how to use Roll20?
I can. It's easy to make a tutorial. It's hard to make a good one.
Man.
Okay. Now I'll do my rolls of initiatives. Where's my NPCs?
I literally rolled the lowest thing I could.
Really? Was
Yeah.
that 5?
Yeah.
That's
Welcome to
funny.
the 5 Club.
High five.
I'm rolling worse than you guys. That makes you feel any better. Okay, let's set that up differently. I'm gonna look over here so I can see what's going on. So the first one to be able to respond is Constantinia. So Constantinia, what you see is, like I said, you're in this large corridor. The corridor at its width, because of the fact that this is a big old temple to the goddess, not just like a random walking through place. The corridor at its width is about 20 meters wide. My apologies. It's about 8 meters wide. Totally screwed that up. It's about 8 meters wide at its width. Its length, going all the way back to the doors that you guys came through, that was about 35 meters ago, and you don't see the end of the hallway quite just yet because you know it's a very long corridor and you're just using flashlights to try to see things. So you don't see where it is, but appearing on your left side and your right side, 7 of these robots do drop out of the walls around you. 4 of them on your left, 3 of them on your right. I know you care about the closeness, so it's actually your right-hand side where they're going to be a little bit closer to where you are.
Okay.
The 2 of the ones on the left are like way ahead of you guys. 2 are way behind. So 3 on the right are kind of like in the middle. So Constantinia, it's your turn first. With 10 meters to move, you can easily close in on one of them.
Yep, I will do that. Is it a cluster of people? Like, how many are there of these things?
There are the 7 total. 3 on the side that you're going to, and unfortunately, they are not clustered. At least not as of right now.
All right, then I will get the furthest backmost one.
Okay. So you want to? Yep. So do you want to? If the furthest one? Yeah. So we'll just have you choose number 3 on the right-hand side. So you start racing your way over towards that one. Make your attack, please, and thank you. Okay. With your 14, that's actually going to be able to hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
That is a considerable amount of damage. So you grab this piece of machinery and you start grabbing and ripping and tearing at the thing. You know, like grabbing components, breaking them with the hands. You know, because you're using both weapons or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's claws in one hand. And what was the other hand again?
Also claws.
Oh, okay, so you're grabbing this thing, and you're more or less grabbing like an arm, and you're hitting it in such a way that it's just completely busting the joints and going out and like kicking out a leg, so it kicks backwards. And you're just completely destroying this piece of machinery as much as possible, and you actually do end up breaking this thing down, so it's on the ground, like, and not really moving anymore.
How big are these things?
They're about Solarian sized.
Okay, because I would try to like crouch down as much as possible behind it as I could, because I went for the backmost one. I don't know if it does anything mechanically, but that's how it goes down.
Yep, not a problem. Awesome, thank you. After you is going to be the first group, which is actually going to be the group that's in front, because you went to the ones that were as far up as possible. That you couldn't quite get to yet. That leads 2 that were a little bit further than where you were able to get to, that are now closing in on where you are. As they're coming towards you, their arms, they hold out their arms, and you realize that the arms themselves are a form of weapon. But when they're attacking you, it's not a mass relay weapon like you typically deal with. This one happens to be a laser weapon. So they're going to attack at you with that. Where is it? I had a laser weapon on here before. Where did it go? I have to re-add it.
Laser weapons are fun.
Slightly more accurate, and so on.
Are they?
And according to stars, that number basics technically, but
Oh yeah, I was about to say my laser rifle is as accurate as my normal rifle.
Well, that makes sense. All right, where is it? Okay, and you just need to bump this to here, and last little thing, and then we're good. Yeah, that's what I thought. Attacking Constantinia with the laser rifle. That's going to be a hit.
It's gonna miss.
Using the ability already.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, the other one's going to attack Constantinia with the laser rifle. 18 hit you?
Oof.
I think it does actually. Yeah.
Okay. Being a laser, 10 points of damage is doubled. Against shields only. What shields do you have?
20.
20? So
whoops.
All of a sudden it's like bzzz, boom, your shields are completely taken offline. Because they completely take it offline, it takes a while for them to even start being able to recharge. So all of a sudden, you guys are watching. You see Constantina rush forward to one of the things and completely, break it. One of the things all of a sudden starts firing a laser at Constantina. She just barely moves to have the attack and miss her. Just barely moves, but then the second one does hit her full on, and you immediately see the effect of her kinetic barriers being powered down. After that is going to be Carmine's turn. Carmine, go ahead.
Do they all look like they have the same laser weaponry?
With a quick glance, it does seem as though they do.
Okay, I'm gonna target the one that just shot Constantinia, and I'm just gonna fire a single shot with my assault rifle.
Before you do that, I forgot to describe something. The ones that shot at Constantinia, as they finished like fully coming online and just walking towards her and firing, you actually saw their shields come online. But you've only seen the shields come online for those two so far.
In that case, I'm gonna target one of the ones that doesn't have their shields online yet, because I'm rude like that.
Of course. That's okay. There's 6 other targets. Do you choose the ones that are on the right-hand side or the 2 that came from the right-hand side?
The ones that are a bit more further away, I think.
So the ones that are way behind you? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Are you using your ability to attack too, or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Also, I can only attack a single target so far. But
Oh, that's right.
I thought you meant like... Huh. Just gonna roll...
Are you bursting or no?
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
No.
So you miss. You miss against that target. That is going to be your turn, Icarus.
I am going to shoot with my jack rifle at the one that shot at Constantinia. This is an energy weapon, so I assume it has the same rules as the laser weapons.
It does.
You
exactly
didn't,
that.
yeah. That's what I thought. And I'm going to burst fire because it has no ammo cost. So I'm going to burst fire all the time, every time.
Yeah,
I'm actually just going to put that on the sheet because why wouldn't I? So it's always burst firing. And also because I have... Well, actually, let me do this first. I assume that's a hit.
That is definitely a hit. A 14's a hit. It's double damage against its shields. You pop the shields against the one that shot at and hit Constantinia.
Mm-hmm. And then because I have already applied some processing before we started, as I powered up the drone, I can command the drone. I can give it 2 commands, but it doesn't matter. I can only issue 1 command per round. So if it is online as well, it is going to also shoot at that target with its little pew pew.
Let me look at the drone again.
It has a pistol.
Yeah. Okay, the other one's the stun baton. That's right. Go right ahead, sir. It goes pew pew against the target. There's no extra bonuses or anything that you grant to the thing that I'm not aware of.
Nope. It's just mostly that I can command a lot of drones.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
And I can do the cool thing is like issuing commands and then almost disconnecting it, do some cool stuff. But
so that is going to be that one. Next up is going to be the 2 that are behind you guys. One of them, both of them are missed. So both of them, their shields come online. They have their laser rifles out, and they're going to be closing the distance between them and whoever's the furthest behind out of the 3 of you. We're just going to assume that's Carmine, and they're going to shoot at Carmine twice.
I hope they're shooting at heat signatures.
Hey! I hit Carmine!
No.
Oh.
Now, see, that's why I save my ability for crits.
But...
Because you have a natural ability to crit on me, apparently.
But Carmine... No?
There's no buts. No. The man says it.
I'm going to start calling you Arvine, though. Seriously. All right. Never mind. That's Sarah Molly. Never mind.
You
so
want to roll
both
for
those
damage
attacks,
just to see how much you got screwed?
Both those attacks miss you. One widely and one narrowly. And then the other 2 remaining ones that popped out of the left-hand side, as the right-hand side, are going to start running towards Constantinia because they were already very close to her. So instead of using rifles, they're actually going to close in and start making assaults from up close. They are, of course, using Omniblades because that's like the most common form of attack for a melee. And they're going to attack Constantinia. That's a miss. 16?
That matches, yeah.
That's a hit?
Mm-hmm.
You have no extra benefits against melee?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Omni Blades ignore shields, but it doesn't matter. You don't have any anyways. But remind me, and I know all of you always have to remind me, do Omni Blades ignore armor too? I think they do. That's right. Otherwise, they'd be useless.
It's your rules.
Yep. So they're used so infrequently. So 5 points of damage to you, Constantinia.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the
Oh, it's the shock damage that ignores armor resistance. I don't know if the necessarily the blade
it's only
does.
the shock damage.
I don't think you've
armor.
done, because I feel that didn't sound familiar. I don't think you've done the blade ignores damage resistance as well.
Okay, thank you. I knew there was something in there before.
It's the shock damage ignores damage resistance.
It's only
otherwise,
shock
it
damage,
wouldn't make
yeah.
sense.
What's your resistance to damage then, Aaron?
5.
Oh, and I did what?
Hey.
5. So then it would do the minimum, which is 1.
Okay.
So it does 1 point of damage to you, and with that, we're going to take our last break, and we'll come back to you guys getting. Oops, we're going to come back to you guys getting swarmed by a whole bunch of
Swarmed?
swarmed.
Swarmed?
You know, I'm just going to go on break. I'm back.